असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। So, what we discussed in our last class on 18th of June, dharma, primary and secondary. Next, Kurukshetra war. So, the very first verse of Bhagavad Gita starts with Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetra. So, what is this war? In Islam, this is called jihad. What is jihad? Now they have perverted the meaning. The meaning of the word jihad means fighting with the lower mind, the sattvika mind fighting with the rajasika and tamasika mind, the desire for divinity fighting with the desire for maya, with maya. This is called jihad. So that is called dharma yuddha. Many people misinterpret dharma yuddha means righteous war. Righteous war means a war where you fight for the sake of righteousness. That is a secondary meaning. What is the primary meaning? What is the primary meaning of dharma? To be our own self, real self. I think, sub light on kore. Okay. So it is not a righteous war, but a war between dharma and adharma. So to be our real self or to be our apparent self. That is real Kurukshetra war. Our real nature wants us to be ourselves, but Maya wants us to be enmeshed, established in it. That is our problem. So that is why the whole of nature is here to prepare us for this dharma yuddha. How does it do? First through biological evolution, so that human body is the best body for God realization. Then after that, human beings are divided into 4 categories. The caste system. We also discussed the caste system has nothing to do with the Brahmana Kshatriya. It is a division depending upon 2, guna and karma in the Bhagavad Gita. Guna means what? There is a jati Brahmana, Brahmin by birth. There is a karma Brahmana, means a Brahmana through profession, activity. But there is what is called guna Brahmana, means he develops certain qualities like a Brahmin. In our great master class, last class, discussed how Kshudiram was a real Brahmin. Truthfulness, dharmic, he follows all the scriptural injunctions. That is what is called orthodox. This is what is called being a fanatic. What is fanatic means what? Not being rebellious. Fanatic means I am strongly inclined to follow the teachings of the scriptures. And this has been perverted now. Everything is perverted. Anything can be perverted. You understand? Fanatic means I am very fanatical. I will not deviate from this. That is what we have to do. So what does Maya wants to do? First of all, it says you develop likes and dislikes. What does it do? Then you suffer. Shoka. Raga, shoka, what is the? Moha. Moha means what? Delusion. What is delusion? Confusion. What is confusion? Confusion between what is right and what is wrong. That is called confusion. Then this is a war, and where it will not stop until we reach the goal and know, each one of us know, I am Brahman. This war will not stop. This evolution will never stop, because that is our nature. Every seed has to grow until it becomes fruitful. When does a tree's life ends? Yes, not never. The seed grows into full-fledged tree and fulfills its function. What is its function? To give the fruits. That is why beautiful mystical songs are there. In Bengali there is a song, I mon beda tejavi kali kolpurukho. Let us go, O mind, and let us walk to the tree called Kali, and beneath it there are 4 fruits. What are those 4 fruits? Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Ultimately Moksha. That is the important point here. So the escalator will not stop until it takes us to the goal. This is a beautiful example. You know, escalator, you noticed? So the escalator goes, we stand, and then it takes us to a higher level, and then having left us there, it goes back to bring constantly 24 hours, it is moving up, bringing people up and up and up until they reach the goal. And that is what Sankhya Karika says. This whole, what we call, Vedanta calls Maya, is called Prakriti in Sankhya philosophy. And this Prakriti, according to Sankhya philosophy, like a mother, it takes the hand of each one of us as though we are children, and like a wet nurse, then takes us to God, means our real nature. So, my child, all this time you are thinking, I am your mother, but I am only your wet nurse. This is your real mother, leaves us there, goes back so that it can bring other people. Beautiful description is there. So this purpose of Maya, because we have terrible misunderstanding, Maya is there to delude us. No, Maya is not here to delude us. Maya is here to deliver us. But in the beginning, a little bit of, reward and punishment is necessary. And that other name for reward and punishment in Sanskrit language, what is it? Dharma and adharma. Dharma means reward. Adharma means punishment. Punishment for what purpose? To bring us back to dharma. And it is this dharma, then through artha, through kama, until it takes us to moksha. So this war will not stop. You cannot sit quiet. You may think you will sit quiet, but all the time we are learning some lessons. Yeah, that is the purpose. So then each soul is an Arjuna. Here the teaching in Bhagavad Gita is, Sri Krishna teaches Arjuna. Who is Arjuna? Each one of us are Arjunas. And God is with each one of us. So God doesn't abandon anybody. He says, okay, you become Arjuna, then I will be with you. No. He is with us all the time, and like a loving mother takes us through various stages. And then ultimately says, there is no you and me. So what exists is only one, whatever you call it. So the first chapter shows us that Arjuna is going through intense suffering but did not reach that first, even the first stage of spiritual enlightenment. So we said 7 stages are there. Let me read out those 7 stages. First, discovery of the problem. Second, discovery of helplessness. Third, acceptance. Do you see the difference? Discovery of the problem and discovery of the helplessness, both are 2 separate things. Because most of us go through some problem, but we don't think we are helpless. We think that we know the solution. Third is acceptance. What is acceptance? Acceptance of our problem, acceptance of our helplessness. Karpanya. I will tell you also how it goes through. Then only the desired 4th step, seek the advice of a wise teacher. That is only 4th stage. Then surrender to him. Then receive the remedy or his help. And last is apply the medication. Now look at this. This is Arjuna's problem. What he is doing, he has come, as we all know, to fight out the war. And then he requested Sri Krishna, take me in between the 2 armies so that I can make a plan how to conduct this war. And Sri Krishna, he took them. Until that point, Arjuna was normal person, determined to do what was his duty. We will discuss that point a little later on. As soon as he saw Bhishma, Drona, and so many other people whom he loved, immediately he changed his tune. He said, I don't want to fight now. That means he had become confused. Confused means what? Previously he was thinking, I was very foolish fellow. I thought I knew everything. What a stupid fellow. And even Yudhishthira did not understand it. Nobody else understood. So even Sri Krishna did not understand because he only advised him to do the fighting. Now I see crystal clear. This is the problem. Everybody is deluded excepting me. What is the problem? This is wrong. This fighting is wrong. It's, why do we want, after all, they want the kingdom. Let them take it away. What is the problem now? Why did you not discover this beforehand? Not only that, this when a person becomes mad, there is no rationality in his thinking. Okay, look here. If you have got Bhagavad Gita, of course many of you don't have. If you have got, you see the first chapter, 23rd verse. Arjuna, even in this condition, is Durbuddhi. All the opposite Duryodhana, etc. Durbuddhis. Durbuddhi means what? Wicked fellows. He addresses it. In verse 35, Gnataha. These are the mindless killers. Even in this his so-called enlightened state, he is using contradictory words and says they are all wicked people, they are all mindless killers. And then he gives, even in verse number 36, he uses a special word, Atatayi. Atatayi means one who committed 5 special types of sins, like killing a child, putting fire to somebody's house and burning them, or killing a helpless person, or giving poison to somebody who is an innocent person, unsuspecting person. In our scriptures, they give a very special title. They are called Atatayi. Means unimaginably, what is called great sinners. And Arjuna is using the word about Duryodhana and other people, and at the same time says, it is better let them kill me, let me not. See, that is called confusion comes. But he will soon discover it. Then you see, if you have got these stages we are talking about, if you have got 2nd chapter, 8th verse. Second chapter, 8th verse. So what he says, Nahi prapashyami mamapanutyat yachhokamuchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumam asapratna vruddham rajyam suranam api chadhipatyam. I do not find a way out of the sorrow which burns my mind to the depths and which, as it were, dries up the senses. This sorrow is inevitable, even if I attain the status of an Indra and rulership over the three worlds with all its riches. That means, even if I obtain all the so-called happinesses in these three worlds, it is not going to make me happy. It is make me, on the contrary, this unimaginable suffering is not going go away from me. So, what is that stage? What is the first? It is only first stage. What is the first stage? Discovery of the problem. Okay. Then he says, Karpanya, the earlier shloka number 7. Karpanya doshopa hatasvabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chaitaha yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme sishyasteham shadimam tvam prapana. I am on the horns of the dilemma, unnerved, unable to decide my duty. So I ask you, pray, tell me definitely which is good for me. I am your disciple. I take refuge in you. Do instruct me. I am reading from a, because of convenience, but you can, more or less the meaning is the same. So, what is he telling? The second stage is helplessness. The third is acceptance. He has accepted. What is acceptance? I am suffering and I am helpless. That means I have not discovered a remedy for it. Then what is seeking an advice? This is pruchhami tvam. I am asking you. Dharma sammudha cheta. And then he surrenders. Prapannam. Prapanna means what? Complete surrender. That's why in Ramanuja's Siddhanta, Prapanna means Prapanna Marga, the path of self-surrender. Incidentally, that is the path Sri Ramakrishna advised. We will have occasion to discuss it. If you ask what is the most important teaching of Sri Ramakrishna, what is the path? Is he advocating Advaita or is he advocating Visishtadvaita or Dvaita? I would say he is nearest to Ramanuja. He is nearest the goal. As far as the goal is concerned, he is pure Advaita. As far as the path is concerned, he is the nearest to Visishtadvaita. What is it specially? Visishtadvaita, there are two paths. For most of the people it is called Bhakti Marga. But for many other people, that is called Sharanagati Marga. Prapanna Marga. Prapatti. It is called Prapatti. So that is what it says. Prapannam. Shishya steham. I am your disciple. Shadhi. Shadhi is a very beautiful word. Shadhi means command me. Shasana. Not to suggest to me. You command me. Because if I am who is a disciple? Who is a disciple? A disciple, first of all, he is a disciple who surrenders to his guru. Secondly, the disciple doesn't, can you suggest some certain things, what I can do and I cannot, no suggestion. You command me. So that is Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam Sishya Te Aham. I am your disciple. I surrendered myself to you. Actually, the Anvaya, how we arrange these words, it should come. First I surrender, then I become a disciple, then you command me what to do, what not to do. All these, in these two verses, only all these stages that we have discussed about comes, not all these stages, until first stage to fifth stage. first to 7 stages, he said. What is the first stage? Discovery of the problem. What is the second stage? Discovery of one's own helplessness. What is the third problem? Acceptance. I have a problem and I don't know what is the remedy. I must seek somebody. Then what is the fourth one? Seek the advice of a wise teacher. What is the fifth thing? Sharanagati. Surrender. Only from first to fifth, that is in this second chapter, until the 10th shloka it comes. Then from the 11th verse of the second chapter until practically the end, it is called receiving the teaching, advice. And the 7th one afterwards, put it into practice. So you see, we have a lot of time. Many years are there, so don't at all worry about it. Now we are only not even in the first stage. The whole first chapter, it is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He has not even discovered the problem. Only in the second chapter beginning, Karpanya Doshopa Hata Swabhavaha, he seems to wake up and discover the problem. Okay. So, what is the moral of this one? The first chapter shows us that Arjuna is going through intense suffering but did not reach even the first stage. That is why it is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. It is only description, but it has a moral lesson. That is the moral. Intense suffering alone is the beginning of wisdom. If we do not go through intense suffering, we will not seek the remedy. Simple psychology. If you are this much thirsty, how much water will satisfy you?
This much.
If you are this much thirsty, how much water will satisfy you? Only this much. If you are only terribly thirsty, then only you require. So, what does it mean? Until we find that this world cannot offer me a solution, there must be a solution beyond what these three worlds can offer. Three worlds means what? This earth and also this Svargaloka and in between whatever is there. In Indian mythology, Dharma Shastra, these three worlds comes very often. Or you also can interpret it that as the Sthula Sharira cannot solve my problem. Sukshma Sharira, subtle body, gross body cannot solve my problem. Gross body cannot solve my problem. Nidra, sleep, cannot also solve my problem. Because as soon as I wake up, all the devils are they are waiting at the doorstep. The moment you open the door, they are all waiting for us. So Arjuna has not even discovered. But why the first chapter is the beginning of wisdom? Unless each one of us, as Arjuna, must become Arjunas. That means we have to go through the same amount of suffering that Arjuna goes. And like Arjuna, we also feel these three worlds, we cannot offer any solution. Only then, Bhagavan Krishna, even though he is with us all the time, then only he opens his mouth. Why? Because God is very wise. Therefore, he will not give any advice unless we are ready to receive it. This is the simple truth. You don't teach a small child higher mathematics. You do, as I mentioned, even for very advanced mathematics student, parallel lines do not meet. Do not meet. This is what is taught. But once you go to the abstract level, parallel lines do meet in infinity. Yeah. But what is the concept of infinity? That is where the abstract thinking will come. So I will not to go further about it. Sri Krishna looks at Arjuna's pitiable condition. Then Krishna delivers a shock treatment. When a person is not in a condition, he has the capacity but not in a condition to receive, first of all we must prepare him. That is why a shock treatment is given. That is why when a baby doesn't cry, is given a slap until he starts crying, then he is normal. Because crying is very necessary. If somebody has witnessed a terrible accident and somebody near and dear died, they go into shock. When a person goes into shock, a shock treatment should be given. What is that? Somehow a person must be made to accept the situation. That is why a person doesn't weep. Terrible tragedy has taken place. The person has gone into shock. That means he lost his capacity to even understand what has happened. That is why they let them go on beating, do this. Until that person comes, it is not possible to give any advice or remedy. That's what Sri Krishna tells. What does he say? Klaibhyam masmagamah partha naitattvayukupaditi. You are talking big things, but you have become a eunuch. Klaibhya means kliva bhava, means a eunuch. Eunuch means is hated by men and also by women. So you are talking like a cleaver. Arjuna says, what? I thought I am the wisest person. All of you are in darkness. I alone am able to see crystal clearly the situation. And here Sri Krishna delivers a big shock. And when Krishna delivers, the other person, because he is an expert, bhavaroga vaidya. Yeah. Nacheti matra vaikuntha yatra. Telugu we have got a saying, if I give him one pill, he will straight Vaikuntha Yatra. Because Bhagavan alone can do that, and that is why after saying that, Arjuna was ready, fit to receive the instruction. But his mind was totally clouded. That's why Sri Krishna delivers a shock treatment. Wakes him up. Uttishtata, Jagrata. And then Arjuna opens his mouth. What am I talking like a madman? I mean like a delirium patient. Now I understand. Oh Lord, by your grace. Then all these things take place. I am suffering, I am helpless, I accepted both, then I seek a wisdom, then I surrender myself, then only the teaching will come. And then only I have a chance to practice. All these things will come later on. So, Krishna delivers a shock treatment and then Arjuna's reply will come. What is the reply? I have all these 5 stages. First to 5th stage. I am ready, and then only Sri Krishna in the 11th verse of the 2nd chapter, real teaching starts. Okay. Just a few remarks. According to Ramanuja, every philosophy should fulfill 3 conditions. Tattva, Purushartha, Hita. But it is said Tattva, Hita and Purushartha. But actually it should be rearranged. Tattva, Purushartha and Hita. What is Tattva? The truth. What is Purushartha? That should be your goal in life. The third is how to achieve that goal. So here you see at the end of each chapter, what do we get? Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu. It is the word of God. Every word is God. That's why it is said Upanishatsu, Bahuvachana, plural number. Because every word is a word of goodness from God, spiritual advice. Why so many words? So many words because there are so many types of people and only repeatedly telling. If we say 100 times, there is a chance one sentence will go inside. That is why repetition. This is called Tattva. What is Tattva? What can God tell? Truth. What is the truth? What can God tell?
about God.
God can only tell, I am God. He can't say anything. I am a door. I am a doormat. I am a man. I am a woman. Do you think he says? He can never talk about anything. All that he can tell is, I am. He will not even say, I am that. I am. That is called Tattva. That is our goal. It should be our goal. So what is that? Then he says, Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyaya. Every chapter of the Gita is called Brahma Vidya. What is Brahma Vidya? Knowledge of the self. That should be, what is it called? Purushartha, moksha. That is the goal. Even though God is the truth, but we may not be in a condition to say that is my goal. Okay, that is for some few monks who renounce the world and all those things, but not for me. So that's important. Then Yoga Shastra. Bhagavad Gita uses a particular word. Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu. Every word of God is Upanishad. What is Upanishad? That which delivers the jiva from his bondage, releases him, gives him liberation. That is called Upanishad. That is called Tattva. Brahma Vidya alone can deliver. What is our problem?
We don't know the way.
Avidya. Ignorance. What is the remedy for ignorance? Knowledge. That is called Brahma Vidya, self-knowledge, who you are. That is called Dharma, primary meaning of Dharma. That is called Purushartha. What is Hita? Hita means what?
The path.
What is the path? What is the way? What is Yoga Shastra? Yoga Shastra. Yoga. What is yoga? 4 parts. Yoga is only one. But yoga can be practiced in 4 different ways. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So, these are the things that we wanted to discuss. Now, what I would like to do, if you have got the books, we will go back because we have not been following the Bhagavad Gita itself. Now, I want you to follow the Bhagavad Gita itself. Very brief meaning, and then we will analyze, and then we proceed further. So now we know they came together in the battlefield, and then Dhritarashtra asks one question. Only one question in the whole Bhagavad Gita. What is it? What did my sons, my children, and Pandu's children do? They have gathered in the battlefield very eager to fight with each other. And then Sanjaya gives description that Duryodhana had slowly gone to Bhishmacharya, and then he describes, these are our great warriors, and these are the greatest warriors among the Pandavas. Even though there are thousands of people, he has to pick up and then tell. So this telling also interpreted in 2 ways. Why? Bhishma, you are an invincible warrior. That means, Khabardar. If you don't fight, because I know in your mind, the heart of hearts, you are only favoring the Pandavas. If you favor somebody, if somebody requests you to do something against them, and he can't tell you directly, I don't want to listen to your advice, okay, is it so? That's why that hemming and hawing should be avoided. That is why Duryodhana knows it. And that's why he is telling, you are such a great warrior. And there's also a funny thing. He goes to Dronacharya, he says, Acharya, all these Pandavas arrayed. Who did that?
Your disciple.
Tava Sishyena Dhimata, by your most intelligent disciple. That means you fool, you have taught him. You should never have taught him. And now he is using it against you. This is your krititva. You don't have even that capacity to understand, to take my advice in the beginning. So this is, Khoche bole na, it is inciting people in a way, and then he makes a remarkable statement. He says, the Pandava army is limited and the Kaurava army is huge, unlimited. But if you go into a little deeper, what it means is they are more than sufficient to beat us black and blue. Indirectly his meaning, even though we are larger in number, but because dharma is there, strength is there, wisdom is there, Bhagavan Krishna is there, they are more than adequate. We are not that adequate. This double meaning is there. Okay? Then what happens? The next, everybody, Bhishma, etc., they take up their conchs and then go on blowing. And they have got their own individual conchs. You can read all the descriptions. And all this introduction lasts for some time. And then Arjuna says, both are ready to start the war. Arjuna says, take my chariot in between the two so I can take a cognizance of both of them and formulate an appropriate reply in the form of formation of the armies. That's what I do. And Sri Krishna did not say it, simply took them, placed them in front of Bhishma Drona Pramukataha, and then says, look. And then Arjuna looked. What happened? He saw all his most beloved relatives and fathers and uncles and mamas and not mummies, only mamas. But what is the point here? They were not, all the people were not sworn enemies of Pandavas. That is the tragedy of it. First of all, we have to recollect the background. When Krishna was lying down, Duryodhana and Arjuna approached him. Then, as though he got up, and then, oh, why did you come? See, that was a custom in those days to say that you join our party. Like Germany asked to Japan and Italy and some of these countries to join. In fact, they also had a kind of go at Russia. But later on, Hitler declared war on Russia. And that is why Russia had joined and wreaked havoc on Berlin in the last days and divided and all that. Now here also, so Arjuna, Krishna said, I divide my help into two parts. One is me, and I will not fight. I will only give advice, free advice. Free. Not really free. Free means what? No condition. Here, not free means what? Total surrender to me. What else is there? If you surrender yourself to somebody, have you got anything? But that is the only condition. And rest of my very powerful armies. Now, Arjuna saw. Before the war started, all those people belonging to Bhagavan Krishna, were they not his beloved people? The Satyaki and not Satyaki, and most of the people, he knows all of them. They are related. Kunti was related to Krishna Vamsha. That's why my brother-in-law like that. So they were seen. Lots of other people also for one reason or the other joined one party or the other party. Therefore, when Arjuna saw not only this Duryodhana and company, he also saw hundreds, thousands of people who were very good people, who were beloved of him. That is what comes. Let us read a little bit here. Let us start with 21st verse. Arjuna vacha senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya mechuta yavadeta nirikshayam yodhu kamanavasthitan kairmaya sahayodhavyam asmin ranasamudyame yotsyamanan avekshayam ya ete atra samagataha dhartarashtrasya durbuddhe yuddhe priyachikirshavaha. Arjuna said, O Krishna, please stop the chariot in the middle of both the armies so that I may have an idea of those who have come to fight with us as well as those whom I have to face directly in the war. Also, I can gauge the depth of the army of Duryodhana of wicked intention. Durbuddhi means wicked intention, who is eager to enter into battle with us. So, what did Krishna do? Sanjaya describing now. Eva mukto hrishikesho gudakeshena bharata senayor ubhayor matye sthapayitva rathottamam bhishmadrona pramukhata sarveshancha mahikshitam uvacha partha pashyaitan samavetan kuru niti. I will just read out. Sanjaya describes to Dhritarashtra. He is telling, O Dhritarashtra, O king, while Arjuna spoke those words, Rishikesh, that is Krishna, stayed the chariot in the center of the battlefield in front of Bhishma, Drona and the other chiefs and said to Arjuna, see the Kaurava army ready for the war. So what happened? Thereafter Arjuna, standing between the armies, saw facing each other many venerable ones. Important. Venerable ones means what? Beloved ones, respectable ones. They were not bad people. They were forced to join the battle for some reason or the other. But as personalities, they are extremely good people, beloved people. They loved Pandavas. Pandavas also a veneration. Who are they? Fathers. Fathers means not his father is not there. Equivalent to fathers, Fathers, grandfathers, teachers, uncles, brothers, sons, nephews, friends, fathers-in-law, and those who are worthy of respect and affection like a father, etc. And viewing all these, standing ready for battle, the son of Kunti was moved to pity and he spoke these words. This is a very important background situation. What is it? Until that time, he was raring to fight. The moment he saw, then what happens? His whole idea about what is dharma and what is adharma has completely overthrown. The moment he saw, moha came. What is moha? Confusion. What is confusion? What is right and what is wrong? Once we get confusion, whether it is right or wrong, once we get confusion is always wrong, we follow. But very curious thing also happens. Once we never feel we are confused for a long time. We feel everybody else is confused. We are the only non-confused people. And to prove how we are not confused, we go on advancing arguments, justification called rationalization. But here, this is not rationalization. The psychological word rationalization carries dubious meanings, wrong meanings. What is rationalization? Something which is not at all rational, but appears to be rational to somebody, absolutely reasonable. You understand? Something which is not at all reasonable, but appears to be totally reasonable to the confused person. This is the ordinary psychological meaning of rationalization. But when Arjuna advances arguments, why he decided not to fight this war, his arguments 150% absolutely rational. Whatever he said is 100% right. So that is not the rationalization really. In his case we call it rationalization. Why? Because even if something is right, to deviate from the path of dharma, that is what is not advocated. Simple example. Suppose there is a judge. Now the judge has to decide the judgment depending upon what? Evidence. So maybe a person committed some crime, and maybe that person has got absolute rational justification why he committed the crime, but according to law, he cannot take law into his own hands. According to law, we cannot take law into our own hands. This has a lot of implications are there. So a judge should be able to say, even if it is my son even if it is my wife, even if it is somebody, then as a judge, I am impartial. I should not have this one. But the judgments, why a person has given this judgment, we can doubt it. That's why I still remember, there was a very famous Iyer in Madras. He was a very famous judge. Krishna Iyer. And he was retiring, and somebody else was stepping into his shoes. Then that younger junior man asked for his. Then it seems he gave a beautiful advice. He said, you deliver your judgment, probably you will be right, but don't explain it. Most often you will be wrong. See, there is an intuitive power. So the judgment may be absolutely right, but the moment you try to explain it, then there is a possibility that it is absolutely wrong. That is a very important psychological principle for us. So here, even though we say Arjuna has tried to rationalize his decision, we will discover very soon, probably in our next class, how correct he was. But what was he talking about? The disastrous consequences of war, and every historical experience as conclusively proves what Arjuna has been telling thousands of years back. So anyway, we will come to that now. So Arjuna, he saw all these people. Then a reaction has come. Instantaneous reaction. Gut reaction we call it. But totally wrong reaction. What is it? First thing is he was overpowered with moha. Moha means what? To consider adharma as dharma and to consider dharma as adharma. This is called moha. To consider, confuse what is wrong with what is right, and to confuse what is right with wrong. Right is seen as wrong, wrong is seen as a right thing. Now here we have to be extremely careful in making a judgment. Arjuna's conclusions are not wrong. They are not wrong. They are absolutely correct.
What is Arjuna's conclusion?
That the disastrous consequences of war, he is absolutely right.
Okay.
But even though that is so, he should not have taken the decision that I will not fight. That was the Dharma Sankara. The external situation is not wrong. But his decision, even sometimes, as a soldier, what will you do? Your king or your prime minister has declared war against another country and you are in the army. Will you go on saying all those things? You cannot say that because you have taken a pledge, I will do that. But that's not a correct explanation also. It will come what is the correct explanation. We encounter certain situations in life. We know if we follow a particular course of action, the result will be disastrous. And yet, we cannot take independent decision because we are also living, we are not only individuals, but primarily we are also members of the society. Now what is wrong with this decision? First thing, let us analyze it. Suppose Arjuna doesn't fight. What happens? First thing is, what the Kaurava and co-party is doing, they are advocating adharma. They are followers of adharma. Now, will they be converted into dharmic by Arjuna not fighting? No. So, if you don't oppose a wicked person as a good citizen, you are committing a crime because by not taking any action, you are encouraging that person. Secondly, if you don't fight, that wicked person, today he targeted you, tomorrow he will target somebody else, And the nature of wickedness is such, it doesn't see any discrimination between, and these are my people, these are not, this is my country, this is not my country. He will apply it to everybody. Example is Hitler. Old example is Ravanasura. Okay, Ravanasura has got lots of power. What did he do? He declared war over everybody. He went to Indra, Chandra and all those fellows. What did they do? They were not his enemies. That what was his excuse? That what right have you got to rule over me? I have got power. I will just dislodge you. I will sit in your place. This is his logic. Okay. Next. But okay, you have got power. Does that mean that you misuse the power? What was he doing? Any woman that catches his fancy, he was just bringing them and then spoiling them. That means he is doing many adharmic things. So if Rama had not gone to war, what would have happened? Well, Ravana will say, so you are my enemy, I will destroy you. But if Rama had not gone to war, his wickedness, will it stop or will it go on spreading? So these Kauravas, do you think that they would have stopped only with enmity with Pandavas, or because that is their nature, will they go on doing it? Okay. Then also another point of view, what is the dharma of a Kshatriya? Who is a Kshatriya? Is a protector. Kshatriya is a protector. A Brahmana is a religious person. His business is to propagate religion, spiritual values. What is the duty of a Kshatriya in those days I am talking, even today, military? To safeguard one's own country, and if any other country illegally, immorally declares a war, it is the duty of the military people to stem it. That is called their duty. Now, Arjuna unfortunately belongs to that category of Kshatriya. Now, if he doesn't do that, then what about all the insults and then sufferings inflicted by these Kauravas upon the Pandavas, including himself, his wife, etc.? Is it not your duty as a husband to protect your wife? Is it not your duty as a brother to protect your other brothers, etc.? So by simply you are withdrawing, and what is it? You are elected as a commander-in-chief, and then if you, what do you think Kauravas would have done to all the people who joined the Pandava army? Just imagine. Suppose Arjuna decided not to fight. If he doesn't fight, what would have happened to the Pandava army?
Destroyed.
They will be slaughtered. Now the thing is, they can't fight because the commander-in-chief surrendered himself. Now, what would be the reaction of the Kauravas towards these people?
You got scared of him.
Cowards.
No, they will wreak vengeance. Why? Because previously, before the war was declared, at least people were relatives and friends, known people, etc. Now, they have declared that we have chosen this party.
So now they are enemy.
Deadly sin. Next, Kauravas will wreak vengeance on all those people who have declared their allegiance with the Pandavas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, that this wickedness, not only that, if Kauravas, okay, they are wicked people, seeing this adharma triumph, what would be the lesson for the entire society? If they can go scot-free, why can't we also go scot-free? So many implications are there. That is why he is deviating from his own dharma, but he is not an individual, he is also part of the group, and the whole group is going to be destroyed by one individual link. Weakest link the strength of a chain depends upon the weakest link. And the consequences are really horrible. That is why it is called a jihad. So that is what we have to see. So Arjuna's condition has totally changed. I will read out the meaning and then we will discuss a little bit. Arjuna said, "Seeing my kith and kin arrayed in battle, O Krishna, I feel extremely tired and my mouth dries up. I am horrified and I tremble. There is horripilation due to fear." The Gandiva means the bow. The name of the bow Arjuna carries is called Gandiva. Drops from my hand and my skin is drying up. I see bad omens. I do not find any good in killing my own people in this battle. Now he is telling, I do not find any good in killing my own people. What does he mean by my own people? People in his army or whom he considers my people in the opposite army. I have no desire for victory, nor do I desire any kingdom. I do not wish for worldly pleasures either. Those for whom we wish to have kingdom and prosperity, they themselves have come here to shed their lives in battle. Teachers, fathers, children, even grandparents, uncles, fathers-in-law, brothers-in-law, and also other close relations. Here is, we have to pause and say, those for whom we wish to have kingdom and prosperity. If we prosper, can we enjoy it without having some people whom we can call our own? So a person doesn't have father, mother, wife, children, friends. Or even if he is the richest man, it will be like ashes. There is a most wonderful psychological truth is being explained. What is it? No man can enjoy anything unless he can share it with somebody whom he calls his own. And this war is terribly destructive because Arjuna knows it is a fight to death. That means in our army also people will die. In that army also. He was not saying only I am going to kill you. You have to understand the larger vision. They are not fools. They are not cowards and they are not weak people. They are also Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, Duryodhana and all that company, mighty warriors. They are also going to wreak vengeance on the Pandavas army. So he will lose his so-called his own people. And he knows there are so many people willy-nilly, they were forced to join Kaurava, whom Pandavas loved and who also loved in their turn Pandavas. So they are also going to die. Ultimately who will remain? Nobody can say. And if there is nobody whom we can call our own dear to share our feelings, then can we really enjoy? That is the most important point. That is why if we do not have anybody whom we can call our own, any kind of worldly happiness turns into kind of absolute ashes. This is the simple truth. It is only possible in one condition, to be happy. You know what is that condition? We must have somebody whom we can call our own and enjoy. And there is one, even if the whole world deserts us, there is one who cannot desert us. Who is that? God. That's why for a devotee, this problem, real devotee, this problem doesn't arise for two reasons. One reason is, a real devotee never considers anybody in this world as one's own. A real devotee, for second reason, considers God all the time as his very own. And that is what Arjuna is indicating here. For whose sake we are going to obtain victory, etc. If they themselves are there to kill us, standing in front of us, and if they are not there, what is the point of this victory and other things? This is called Aranya Rodhana. We use one Sanskrit word, Aranya Rodhana. That is crying in a forest where nobody can hear. Singing in a forest where nobody can appreciate your song. And supposing, none of you come here. Do you think I will have this enthusiasm to give this most one talk about Bhagavad Gita for myself? Yeah. This is the greatest truth he is telling. I also mentioned is Arjuna was not that kind of fool. He understands in his heart of heart these are wicked people. That's why he uses 3 bad words. What are they? First thing he says, Durbuddhi. Then he second he says they are killers. What type of killers? They are just killers. No rhyme, no reason. They are ready to kill other adharmic people. And third, he categorically says they are atatayins. Even though he knows, this is the problem of moha. Even if I know that some of my family members, my friends are very wicked people, but I cannot enjoy without them. Even if they are wicked people, the only condition is I should consider them as my very own. Not only that, stupidity. Even if they do not consider me as their own, but if only I consider them as my own. This is called moha. Bheve dekho man, kehu karo nahi. There's a beautiful song. Oh mind, just think, discriminate a little bit. In this world, nobody belongs to you. Everybody is a stranger. And he says, even your most beloved husband, for whose sake you have practically killed yourself whole life. The moment that person dies, the wife refuses to touch that body for fear of pollution. It's a song. Fear of pollution. What is that? Amangal hobe bole. In the end, Thakur used to sing this song. This is the truth. In any one of our families, if somebody dies, what is the first thought that comes to us?
To burn the body.
How soon we can get rid of the body. And then we don't want to touch. There's a peculiar customs are there. When we come to know somebody is dying, suppose until that time he is in a nice bed. What do? Remove him and put him on the floor so that the cot will not be a waste. Yeah, people do that. Anyway, the fellow who is going to die is going to die. Why spoil this? Otherwise you have to wash the whole lot and lot of purification has to be done. This fear is there. Fear of dead bodies is there. Anyway, coming back to our subject here. So he says, Arjuna says, I do not like to kill them even if they kill me in battle. Even if I get the whole world, not even for the sake of heaven, he discovers. And he says, Oh Krishna, what happiness can come out of killing the children of Dhritarashtra? We will only incur the sin of killing the wicked ones. It's not proper that we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, who are our close relatives. Oh Krishna, how could we be happy by killing our own people, especially when we see the danger in killing one's own relations? Of course, they are quite innocent of the disaster consequent on the destruction of established family traditions. Very, very interesting outpouring of Arjuna. What he said, as we mentioned, is absolutely right, spot on. But the reasons why he is telling, that's wrong. So he says, what happiness can come out of killing these children of Dhritarashtra? On one hand, he is telling atatayis, durbuddhi, atatayis. And on the other hand, he is telling that what happiness we derive. We will only incur the sin of killing the wicked ones. This is called confusion in reasoning, thinking. Did you hear what is the translation? We will only incur sin of killing wicked people. So if somebody kills a wicked person, say, if somebody kills a sinful person, will he incur sin or will he get punya?
Punya.
Depends on the dharma of the person who is killing him. If he
No. You listen carefully. By killing wicked people, Wicked people means what? Adharmic people.
Guruji, if I'm a police, I can kill a thief, but I'm a normal citizen. I can't go and kill the thief. I can't take the law into my hands.
Yes, you can kill under certain circumstances. Not only you can kill, you have to kill. I'll give you an example. This Orlando massacre. You are an ordinary citizen. But fortunately, just imagine that you have a pistol and you know this fellow is going to shoot and he has already started. What is your dharma?
To kill him instantly.
To kill him.
Instantaneously. The purpose is not to kill him. The purpose is to help other people to stem the damage as much as possible, to stop further killing, is it not? Any commonsensical person should do it. You can't say I am a citizen and so you say let me phone to the police. By the time they hear police will say, unless you say it's a murder, they will not come. So what is the proof? Who the hell are you? What is your CV? What is it? By the time they ask, maybe you also will not be there. No, you think over these things. It is your bound and duty as a citizen. If you are a citizen, you stop any adharma, any wickedness. That is your bound and duty. At least for the sake, what will you do if that fellow is going to kill your children? And suppose your children are there. Now, she got the point. Swajana. Until that time, Anyajana. Now Swajana. My own people.
No, because I have to protect children. I am bound to do that.
That is, earlier what did you say?
I am in Moha, Guruji.
Good. So the point is, if we have a chance, immediately there is a person, he can prevent this one. You go and report and say this person is doing quickly. But it should happen in such a way before that fellow could commit any further damage. But if there is no other chance, if you have the capacity, it is your bound and duty to go and do it. Look at this here. We will only incur sin by killing sinful people. Is it not a wrong type of reasoning? On the other hand, if we kill sinful people, this is a ultimate statement. If we can prevent them without killing, do that. But if killing is the only method, and then will you get punya or papa?
Punya.
Punya, will get punya. Yeah. So that is what we have to understand. It is not proper that we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, who are our close relatives. What a stupid statement. All this time, you are saying they are durbuddhis and they are adharmis. Our whole reason for coming out into the battlefield is to stop this adharma. That's why earlier I mentioned before. What is it? It is not a fight between one party and the other party. It is a real fight between dharma and adharma. So, he has changed, he is using contradictory, irrational statements, some of them. How could we be happy by killing our own people? What is your own people? They are ready to kill you, finish you off. But you are saying they are our people. Who are our people? Our people are people who wish our good, our welfare, our happiness. Here, they want to finish them off. They would have, but for Sri Krishna, these Kauravas would have finished all these Pandavas long before. It was his advice which saved them all the time. That burning of the house, they would have died earlier. Then advised them to go and hide yourself in 1 year. All those things were given by the close advice of Bhagavan Krishna. He saved them. He knew what these fellows are going to do. Yeah. So, when we see the danger in killing one's own relations, of course they are quite innocent of the disastrous consequent on the destruction of the established family tradition. This is another statement. What is the statement? Kauravas are totally ignorant of the disastrous consequences of war. Whereas I, a wise person, is fully aware of the disastrous consequences. Oh Krishna, even you are also guilty. Your insight has taken leave of you. Yeah, he says that beautiful word. These people don't see. What do you mean by those people? His own brothers do not see. Otherwise, why should they take the decision to go to war? Krishna could have prevented the war, but he did not prevent that war. And of course, the doctors, they are blind. I am the only enlightened person in this whole Kurukshetra war. And I am trying to tell you, oh Krishna, after my telling you, do you get some idea of what I am talking about? See that fellow's arrogance. This is what happens for a madcap. Goes on babbling. He thinks the whole world is mad, excepting himself. That is the real sign of madness. And Sri Ramakrishna confirms it. People use it to criticize him as a madcap. If he was a madcap, then he would protest against it. But Sri Ramakrishna is an enlightened madman. That's why he said, what you say is 100% right. The whole world is mad, I am also mad. Only thing is, the whole world is running after lust and gold. I am running after God. Not only that, the whole world is suffering. I am the happiest person. I think after all my madness is far superior to anyone. Tremendous wisdom. What is the madness? I am the happiest person on earth. I don't depend upon anybody. I close my eyes and I think of mother and I am the happiest person. Whereas you fellows, you go on, running after everything, suffer. Whose madness is superior madness? Yeah. So, Arjuna did not exclude even Krishna in his madness. That was his, what is called, change that had taken over as soon as he fell into that delusion of moha that comes. So then, a most wonderful thing comes. He gives most beautiful rationalization, for us rationalization, but very cogent, very truthful, absolutely spot on provable arguments. Why war is a destructive thing. He committed certain mistakes, saying these are my people. That is wrong. But the reasons he gives, the disastrous consequences of war, are absolutely spot on.
Why it is wrong saying to say my people?
Because who is your person? A person who loves you, a person who wishes well of you, a person who is ready to sacrifice your, what is called, his welfare for your welfare. He is my people or your people. The fellow who is ready to cut the throat. Otherwise, I have to say, you go to a fish restaurant and stand in front of a fish and say, oh fish, I am your man. I love you. Is that right? You understand what I said? Go in front and say, I love you. Means what? I want to kill you, eat you, enjoy you. That's why I love you.
Guruji, in that sloka where Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja.
Yeah.
So why couldn't on that ground,
Ah.
Arjuna could renounce all his dharma, because dharma is not going to give him moksha.
Yeah.
So Mamega Charanam Raja. So
Yeah.
that keeps coming to my mind.
Yes.
So after all, following dharma is not going to get him the moksha.
No.
So
That is not a correct statement. But I will tell you why it is. Let us chant this and close this, then I will come to your point. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.